There's like a huge bug on that target that's really distracting me.
Oh my gosh.
Could just...
That is a really big bug.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And
That's huge.
yeah.
Day one of Kayla's 5-month journey to do a tactical run and gun competition. So this is our first day on the range. We're going to go through our gear and what we're using and what we're doing. So my philosophy is when you're learning a new skill, you're only going to use what you're needing to use to learn that skill, nothing else. So your brain can focus on one thing. So for Kayla, we're doing pistol today. So that's what we're using. Glock 19, Vortex Viper Red Dot, competition trigger, light, which we're not going to be using. That's all we're using, along with obviously our mags, our ammo, 115 grain, normal range ammo. Before we get into the actual shooting, we're going to teach Kayla all the range rules, everything that we need to be safe. We're not just going to give her the gun and have her start firing, obviously. We're going to teach her what she needs to be safe for the day. If there's anything that you're going to get out of today, and the only thing you get out of today is the 4 safety rules. So why don't you tell me what they are?
You haven't told me them yet.
I know, I want to hear them from you first. What do you think the 4 safety rules are of gun safety? This is all of gun safety, not just using a pistol or tactical, anything.
Okay, first one is the barrel is pointed down or away.
Close. One of the rules is the barrel is always facing in a direction that is safe. So you never want to be flagging, they call it flagging somebody.
Okay.
So when you're using the pistol today, you're going to be keeping it whenever it's in your hand facing downrange or down at the ground or up, preferably down at the ground or down that way.
Okay.
I know we're a little ADHD here, so I'll try to help you, but it's always, and I'm going to be always when we're doing things behind the muzzle, so behind the front of the gun, because I'm not putting my hand anywhere near the front of that gun when you're holding it.
Okay.
So we're going to be safe that way. Okay, so that's one. When they say like that's one of the rules. The rule is kind of never point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy.
Okay.
What do you think the second one is?
The second one is make sure the safety is on if you're not shooting.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So not every gun has a safety. We're not using a gun with a safety.
Oh,
So, but that would be, the safety is your finger.
Okay.
So that's the second, one of the other rules.
Oh, so finger off the trigger?
Finger off of the trigger until you're ready to fire.
Okay.
Always. Okay? Third?
Hearing protection?
Okay. Eyes and ears are always important. That is not that's just a general rule, not a 4 rules of guns. But yes, eyes and ears always when you're at the range. But they say it's not a rule of guns because what if you need to use your gun in a defensive situation? You're not going to go run and grab your ears and your eyes and put them on before you do that,
not.
right? No, I don't keep those on my nightstand or anything like that. Third one is be aware of your target and what is beyond it. We are never engaging a target where we do not know what is behind it.
Okay.
So they do that for hunting. If there's a deer on a hill, what is behind the hill where your bullet could miss and go over and hit something?
Sure.
You don't know, you don't take the shot.
Okay.
Same with this. We know our backdrop is a bunch of woods and it is a slight uphill. We're not engaging a target, but we don't know what is beyond it. Okay?
And don't ask me what the fourth one is because I have no idea.
Okay, I won't ask you. Fourth rule is like a combo of all of them. It is treat every gun as if it were loaded. So when we know, like right now, I have my gun on me, it's not loaded. I know that there's no round in the chamber, I've checked it. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna take it out and hold it at you like this. I'm going to treat it as if it is loaded because the one time that you forget to check is the time where that's gonna matter and you're gonna prevent an accident from happening.
Okay.
So you always treat them like they're loaded even if you know that they are not, because what if you forget? Okay?
Okay.
So recap, 1 through 4.
Okay. Make sure that you're always pointing in a safe direction, downrange, down at the ground.
Never point your muzzle at something you're not willing to destroy.
Make sure your finger's off the trigger
Till you're ready to shoot.
until you're ready to shoot.
Know your target and what is beyond it.
Know your target, what is beyond it. And all of those together. Make sure that you're never loaded. Check.
Treat a gun as if it is loaded at all times.
Okay. Treat it as it is loaded.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so there's gonna be a lot of terminology today that Kayla doesn't understand, doesn't know. We're gonna be going through that as they come up. If there is something that I missed, put it in the comments. If there's something I'm not explaining correctly, put it in the comments. I'm not perfect. I'm not a gun trainer. I'm just acting like one for Kayla here over the next 5 months. And if there is something that you want to hear more of, put that in the comments too. We're always happy to do another video if you guys want to see more of something. So range rules, we kind of say range is hot. Like, so if you're with other people and you're using a range,
Okay.
like range is hot means people are engaging, do not go down range, because people are going to be shooting. You're not going to go to the targets down range in front of the firing line. So think of like a firing line as a line that goes from one end all the way to the other. And when somebody is shooting, you never want to be in front of that line where they're shooting from.
Okay.
You always want to be behind them. And when we do these competitions, you'll see me and you'll see other people filming and doing other things. But you have to imagine that 180-degree line from where they are, and nobody is ever going to be filming and going in front of that or doing any of those things or training or whatever. The only person that is ever going to be even close is with a timer. They'll be holding it up close to them, but you're not in front of the muzzle, so you're always behind. So you have to understand that. Range is clear means everyone's done shooting, unloaded, holstered, and now we can go check targets. So you're going to hear me do that today. We're going to be shooting. We may not be saying range hot every time. It's just us two here. But when we're done, we're going to say, okay, range is clear, which is to everybody to know, I'm not going to shoot. You're not going to shoot. We're going to be safe. We're going to go check our targets now.
Okay.
Okay. Sound good?
Range is hot, range is clear.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. When we're starting off shooting, we're going to talk about stance. We're going to talk about grip, and we're going to talk about acquiring your red dot. If you don't have a red dot on your gun, you are using iron sights. I don't use iron sights anymore. Get with the times, buy a red dot. Sorry, I'm not sure what to tell you. So we're going to go through all of those things individually. So we're not even going to use the gun. We're going to talk about stance.
Okay.
When I first started shooting, I was a dork, and a lot of people are like this. And you're, okay, I'm going to be in an athletic stance, and your knees bent, and you're, ready, and you're bent, and you're like ready for recoil, That is all tense and more motion. When you're shooting, to be the most efficient, you want to use the least amount of movement and motion and thinking as possible, because you want to focus on your target and shooting. So I used to do that up until even like a year and a half ago. I remember looking, and I'll post a video here of me shooting like one of my first USPSA competitions. I will be doing this. And it's just so inefficient, because you want to be as quick to the target and pulling the trigger. Adding extra motion and doing all those things is dumb. And it's also not smooth. Smooth is fast, fast. Wait, what is it?
Smooth is fast.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Stupid saying. Fast is fast. So we're trying to get too fast.
Okay.
And by doing that, you're not going to be doing motions that are unnecessary. So when I shoot now, and I want to teach you from the beginning, I want to teach you all these things now so that you don't develop bad habits and have to break them, which is what I had to do. So when you start, you're going to be as square to your target, whatever is comfortable for you. Some people will do a little bit of an offset. Some people stay square, but eventually we're going to be getting to the point where we're moving and shooting anyways. So you're going to be getting comfortable in all positions with where your feet are at, but you still want to keep that athletic feel. We were both athletes. She was a gymnast. I was a baseball player. She's very rigid because gymnastics teaches you structure, form, and perfection. When you're moving and shooting, you have to be a little bit more fluid, because you're not going to be in one stance doing one thing. You're going to be moving, you're going to be adjusting to things. So when we start, we're just going to be basic. Feet shoulder width apart. Have a little bit of movement in your knees. You're not going to lock them out. You're not going to be overly bent. You're just going to be nice and loose with your stance.
Okay.
Yep, just like that. And then have a little bit of bend. Remember, least movement as possible. So that's what you want to do. And then when we get later on in these 5 months, we're going to be doing different things like shooting around barriers where you're going to have to be leaning on one foot,
Okay.
leaning backwards over something, bending down through a hole, things like that. So this is the basics. Next, grip.
Are you nervous?
You're nervous. There's nothing in it. And I'm going to teach you so that you don't make the mistake a lot of people make when they shoot a reciprocating slide. So see how this comes back? So this is the position that it's in after it's fired. So when it shoots around, it reciprocates back and then goes forward again to load around into the chamber from the magazine that's in it. Where do you think that you not want to have a body part on this when it's moving back and forth like this?
Up there where you get pinched or something?
Exactly. Anything up here. So when you're holding it, you do not want to be putting fingers here, putting thumbs up here, putting anything here when you're holding it. Nothing is touching the slide.
Okay.
But the main mistake that most people make is they put their other thumb on the back. Because what do you think is going to happen to that thumb right now if I pull the trigger with a round in it? This is going to slide back and just destroy the top of my thumb. So you want to keep all body parts. That's why I have this dovetail area here in the back. You want to be as high as you can without actually being over this lip.
Okay.
Because you want to have that leverage on the gun. And then when you put your hand, your support hand on, you see this whole area is empty here. You want to have as much surface area on the pistol as you can have to support it for recoil management. So you want to put your whole palm of your support hand onto that slide there. See how much surface area that is?
Yes.
Put on. And then these thumbs, some people you'll see like this, like this. You want them kind of pointed towards the target.
Okay.
This one isn't as important because you're kind of just like resting it on your other one, but you want to keep it off of this thing. So this is the slide release or the slide lock. It's kind of got two functions. When this locks back, when there's no rounds in the chamber or in the magazine left, it will lock it back like that.
Okay.
And that means you're out of rounds in your magazine. And when you load another one in, some people are going to cringe at this, but I believe this is how these are designed. They're called a slide lock or a slide release. So the release is, and now it loads another round in. Some people hate that and they say that they weren't designed to be like hit because it rubs on the frame, whatever. I think that the amount of times that you'd have to do that to a steel frame to make it so it would be unfunctional would be hundreds of thousands of times. So I'll get a new gun if that's the case. So that's the slide release. So this, you don't want to be touching this when you're shooting, because if you shoot and you accidentally lock this up when you're shooting, then you can't keep engaging because you just locked your slide back and now you got to re-release it again. So you don't want to be touching that. Otherwise, there's nothing you have to worry about in terms of placement other than keeping it off of the frame and not touching the slide release.
Okay.
The other thing I want you to know about a pistol, you're already getting impatient.
Yes, I am.
See, look at this. This is safety. This is learning the basics and to make you better and more comfortable. A gun is not fragile. You don't have to be like...
Yeah, so that's, I'm like, just give it to me and let me try.
Yes, and we will. But you need to know certain things, okay?
You're talking too much. I already forgot half of the stuff you just told
here,
me.
Really coachable. So when you do things, you can be rough with it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're not breaking it. These are meant to be hit against things to slide, rack, everything, okay? So there's it. Let's see your grip. We're as high as you can be. Yep. Thumb up a little bit. Try to engage that. Yep, like that. Keep this pointed forward. And then these fingers, you have them perfect right below. Let's take a look. Finger off the trigger. Look at you. You're learning one of the rules already.
I'm not touching that thing till
All right.
I'm supposed to.
So we'll work on arms in a minute. Okay. We'll just do grip to start. So everything is looking strong. How hard are you feeling like you're gripping it?
Medium.
Medium, okay. So you're kind of supposed to do it how you're taught to be, like a nice firm handshake. You're not gonna be like Donald Trump and grab somebody as hard as you can and pull them in, you know, with a handshake. You're gonna do it like a normal person and you're gonna shake them nice and firm, but you're not loosey-goosey. You're not just gripping it like crazy. Okay. So that's the feeling you wanna get, and you'll get comfortable with what's best for you and with recoil management. And what you wanna be doing is
my thumb on this thing? What's this thing?
That thing you don't have to worry about when you're shooting.
Okay, what?
That's for taking it apart.
Okay.
So when you're presenting and you're up and you're holding it, the pressure is the support hand fingers are going to be pushing straight back a little bit, because the whole point of this is for the recoil to go into the slide.
Okay.
You want recoil to go straight back and straight forward. So to do that, you need to hold this from jumping up, because that's going to be the natural path that a gun takes. If you're just limp wristing it, you're going to see people, it'll go like that when you shoot it. So what you want it to do is, I'll just rack it while you're holding it. You want it to do, see how it's going up?
Well, I didn't feel like this hand was up high enough.
Yep.
You said, right?
Yep. So get comfortable. Maybe we should take your rings off. So you want it to go, see it? Have a little bit of athleticism.
Okay, I'm good. I'm ready.
Little bit of a lean.
I'm ready.
Comfortable. Okay, so you see how that's a lot, and that's get different when you're shooting. It's a snap instead of a pull.
Yeah.
But you want to get that feel so that you're pulling enough pressure backward on the bottom of the grip and pressing forward so that you're pinching the grip so that everything stays in one place except that slide moves. So if you put too much pressure down, and when you're pulling that trigger and you're pulling down, you're gonna all start and see rounds shooting low.
I'm not understanding what down means.
So down means like when you're doing this. So if you're putting too much pressure here and then you pull the trigger and you're moving with that as you're pulling the trigger, you're gonna shoot below where you're trying to. If you're putting too much pressure here, you're gonna start to see it pop up, and then you actually will see malfunctions. You know what a malfunction is?
No.
There's a beginner term for everybody. A malfunction is where you either get a failure to feed or a failure to eject a round. So a failure to feed means it shoots the round, the slide comes back, and because it didn't have enough recoil into the slide, it won't have gone back far enough to engage another round in the chamber automatically. And a failure to eject means it wasn't enough recoil to even eject that round out and get it out of the chamber and get a new one ready, so it'll get stuck. So we want to have that good balance of holding it tight.
My hands are sweaty.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll get a towel for you. Some guys use chalk in competitions.
Oh, interesting.
So we want to make sure that you're not too much down, too much this way. It's a nice firm, and you want to keep it steady, because the only thing that you want to be moving when you pull the trigger is the trigger in your finger.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
And now trigger pull. So again, empty chamber, nothing in it. We haven't cut and loaded anything. So her finger is going to be on the trigger. I know we're not going to be shooting, but there's nothing in it. So when you do this, you want to have your finger on the trigger firmly, like that it's not like a little tiny bit on your tip, but also not like you're sticking your whole finger in there and hooking around it, because that's going to make it move when you pull the trigger. So this is really the only safety on a gun like this. I said there isn't a safety. Technically it's a safety. It's a trigger safety. In order for this to go back and fire, you have to hit that middle piece back. The rest of it won't move otherwise. So like here, I can't move it, but you do this, it does. Okay. So when you put your finger on it, you want it to be kind of in the middle of that finger. Everybody does it a little bit different for what's comfortable for them. But again, you do too much, you're going to start pulling it to the side when you pull the trigger. Too little, you're going to start pushing it the other direction. So you want it to be so that you can push it straight back. Straight back. And that is the only thing that moves when you pull the trigger. So let's see what your finger looks like on there. Get your grip again. Think about that. Every time when you start shooting, we're going to be grip, because that's the fundamental piece of starting to shoot well.
Does that look good?
Yep. And now finger. And for you, we got nails. Some of you ladies watching, maybe you have nails as well. It shouldn't get in the way unless it's obnoxious, and yours aren't obnoxious. So, yep. And you don't want it to be too low either that you're gonna be touching that bottom. So you wanna get it in there decent enough, yep. Nice pull backwards.
Do
Go
it?
for it, yep.
All the way?
Yep. Nice. So do you notice that like soft spot before it actually clicks?
Yeah.
So that's called prepping the trigger. That is something that isn't a basic thing. Most people don't even think about that when they're beginning shooting for a long time. That's more of getting to know your gun, how far that pull is, because when you're moving, you can't stand still and just get it perfect and then pull the trigger. You are moving, you want to prep that trigger
So you're already like
so
slightly
you're already
pulling
almost
it?
ready for it to snap.
Okay.
And get that round down when you have your dot where you want it. We're not worrying about that now. That'll be something you practice later. Let's go over a little bit of a rundown stance.
Okay.
What does it look like? Okay, and we're gonna do a little lean. So we
Okay.
pulled you backwards a little bit when we
I feel
were racking.
a little forward.
Yep,
Okay.
get that butt out a little bit. Yep. Okay, and then out, grip. Nope. Think about your thumbs.
Sorry. Got it. Oh, yep. There we go.
Yep, good.
Okay.
That's we're learning. Good. And then trigger, show me. Okay, we don't need to pull it again. All right, and now we're gonna talk about your elbows.
I don't lock them out? You do lock them out?
No. So how is that for balance, flow, movement, anything? So if you're like this, everything is going right into the gun.
Okay.
So you wanna have it from the start with a little bend, not like, you'll see some people like we doing this. You wanna be out so you get a good view of your optics, all of that, but you don't wanna be rigid because every single movement or thing that you do later on then is gonna affect everything in your arms. So
Okay.
you wanna have a little bit of looseness. You're not gonna be as rigid, so loosen up a little bit.
Shit.
It's fine.
I'm so used to locking
I know.
like and
That's what
hanging
I'm
in
saying.
my
This
joints.
she was taught her whole life to have a very specific form and structure. This is going to be more fluid. That looks really good.
That feels good.
Does that feel good to you?
Yeah.
Some of it's what a feel is too. You know,
Okay,
you don't
that
want to
felt good.
feel awkward when you're doing it,
Yeah.
but you're going to break some habits.
Okay.
And you got that dot in the picture. Does it seem okay?
I didn't see it that time.
Okay. So that's the next.
You told me not to focus
No,
on that.
I know. So that's our next thing.
Yeah, but that dot already has me stressed out.
I know. Well, we went to the range, indoor range one time.
And I
it
couldn't
took her
find
like
the fucking thing, and it pissed me off.
yeah, probably like 5 minutes to find the dot in the window. And we'll build muscle memory. You did that in sports. We'll do it with this, where you present and you just have it naturally in your eyesight. When you're looking at a target, call that target focused. You bring it up and it's just over it.
I don't like holding it when I'm not supposed
Okay,
to
well, you're
be.
doing really good. You're keeping it forward.
Well, yeah.
So that's what we're gonna develop is boom. So when I do it and I'm looking at the target, I'm not looking at the gun. I don't do this. Because then you're moving your head and your gun, and then you're getting all wacky with where the dot is. So you wanna have your comfortable stance and you bring the dot over the target. You're looking at the target, you're not actually looking at the dot.
Okay.
It's seems very counterintuitive. Because you're like, I have a red dot, I have to look at the dot and shoot it on my target.
Yeah.
But no, you're looking at the target and you're bringing the dot to it, and then you're looking at the next target and you're bringing the dot to it, and then the next one.
So, okay, maybe that was my problem.
Yeah, because if you're doing this, then you're like, okay, I gotta find the dot,
Yeah.
and I'm moving my hand and I'm moving my head, and then I gotta put that dot over the target, but then everything's moving and there's 3 things.
Just trying to do it all right.
Yep.
It's
Right.
not
And that's
me
very
at
normal
all.
because it's counterintuitive. But you want to bring it up and look at the target and put the dot in the middle of the target.
Okay.
Let's just practice because it's really, there's like, I can instruct you, but you just have to get comfortable with the dot coming up. Just shake yourself out a little bit before we do this, Miss Strong, Rigid Pilates girl.
You're supposed to be fluid and
Fluid and flowy.
I teach my clients to relax their elbows and
Yes.
shoulders. Okay,
Right.
I gotta take my own advice here.
Right. Nice. How does the dot? So
There.
again, you're not moving the gun really. I mean, you have to get your sight in, but you want to bring it up so that it's in line with your eye to the target. So you want to create a line between you
I got it.
and the target. Your eye and the target, and that's where your gun is going to be naturally when you pull it up.
Okay.
So just do that a few times.
Like...
Engage. Look at it. Don't get discouraged.
Yeah, but you know, if I'm not good at something right away, I don't fucking do it.
That's why I'm worried about this. I'm worried we're going to do all this filming, and we're going to put all this effort in, and then the second time we go, you're just going to be like, fucking, I'm done.
Yeah,
this is stupid.
That's what ADHD people do, is if you're not good at something, you just quit. So I shouldn't be looking here at all.
You want to look through the window, but what you want to be doing is looking at the target and bringing that naturally up over the target. So you want to bring that window up over where your eyes are and the dot on it. So wherever your eye is focusing, you want that dot to come up and be there. You look really good with the gun though. Sorry, focus, we're focusing.
Am I like, so, this is gonna piss me off.
It's fine. Just relax. This is the third time you shot a gun. The only second time with an optic is I think the first time we went and shot, we didn't have optics. That was years and years ago.
Yeah, I don't even know when that first time was.
That was before red dots were on pistols.
Like now I'm not finding it at all.
Yep. So when you have the gun up, you want to have your grip and your position in your hands comfortable to the point where when you have it up in your eyesight, that dot is in the window naturally, and so that you're not like manipulating it up. It takes time.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I was like trying to like move it around to see if I could find it, but I couldn't even that last time.
That's fine. You have to do that to learn. But I want you to stay focused on the target while you're doing that so that you're not moving your head and the gun at the same time.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at it and I see like a straight line with like a glare like at the top of the...
Yep, so you're probably too far down.
So I need to go up higher?
It's hard for me to know.
There, now I can see it.
Because when you get the dot to where it's like around the edges of the optic, it's going to start to create distortions and glares with it.
Oh, got it now. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah. The other trick that you can try if you are really struggling with it is these are iron sights.
Hold on, you fucked me up. I had it on there and now it's gone.
So I'm going to teach you a little bit of a trick that some people use. So when you have the gun up, these are iron sights.
Yeah.
So this is like a backup. So if this dot would break, at least I still have something to aim the gun with. So this front post goes in the middle of these two back posts.
Yeah.
And you make it flush with the top and right in the middle. If you do that, when you're bringing it up and you can't see that dot and you see like, oh, my post is to the left, I need to bring that to the right, you can correct it and then you'll start to see that dot come in again. Because once this starts getting close to the middle of that and flush, the dot is going to be right on top of it because they're both aligned in the same sight picture. So if you need a reference point, you can use that front sight post as a reference point for bringing that dot into the window. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we want to stay target focused, but you are learning, so you're going to have to be able to look for your dot. That's just natural. There are two types of shooters.
Bugs.
For pistols. Hey. Yep. Yep, you did good. Two types of shooters when you're shooting pistols. Those who are not target focused and those who are trying to be target focused. I stole that from an instructor, can't remember the guy's name. But it just basically shows that everyone is trying to always be target focused or you're not. There is no always target focused. You're either trying to or you're not.
Yeah, I got it now.
We should have started with left or right eye dominant. So
I can see it.
I want you to get it in the picture normal, like how you like it. Close one of your eyes and see.
Left. I see it with my left.
Oh, geez.
Uh-oh.
Really? Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
So like when you do the eye test.
I closed my right eye, saw it with my left.
Okay, do the eye test. Put this, open both eyes, put it over the top of like the head of the target and put it in the middle of that circle and then close an eye.
Yeah, it's my left one.
Your left one, it makes it harder to shoot optics. Makes it harder to shoot in general because now you're, instead of having your strong hand on that side and your normal one with the line of sight, I mean, it's close. You have another one. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little more difficult because you'll see yourself having it lean that way. But it's just something you know and you'll learn. You're not going to switch it. You're not going to,
Yeah.
you know, you're not going to teach yourself to use your right eye.
Right.
So that's just what you have to get used to.
Okay. Let me do it one more time and then I'm ready.
Okay.
Why do you do that every time?
Checking it because I want to treat this as if it is loaded all the time.
Okay.
I just verified by looking in the chamber there was no round in it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Gotta be a little more loose in here.
Yeah, but when I do that, then I lose the dot.
I know, but I'm not saying like totally loose, just a little bit. There you go.
Okay, got it all 3 times. Now I'm good.
Good, nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome progress. And your stance looks really nice. You're not like, you're doing a little bit of a drop when you pull it up. So
Okay.
we'll focus on that a little later. We want to get you comfortable with the dot, but you'll learn that you don't need to be doing this. You just do it.
Okay.
Like you bring it up instead of doing them all. That's just so much motion. Now you got to line your head up with the, you know, it's just always moving.
Okay.
That's the basics. We've gone through our stance, our grip, our elbow position, trying to be less rigid. We've gone through acquiring the red dot, if that's what you're using. If you're not, again, get one. And we've gone through trigger safety, range safety, all of those things. So what do you think? Are we ready to actually engage our target?
I don't know if I'll ever be ready, but I guess that's the next step. So here we go.
Let's do it. If I forgot anything in my instruction, please put it in the comments below. We're always looking for improvement. And check out the next video and see how she does.